The twist is spoiler alert for Bolt.
Spoiler alert for Bolt. I'm gonna cut this out and put it at the beginning. Spoiler alert
for Bolt.
I always forget it. Hi friends, welcome back to Not Again, the podcast that brings college-level analysis to preschool-level content. I'm one of your hosts, Rebecca.
And I'm your other host, returning Alan.
Your name is Returning Alan?
Yes, returning Alan.
Okay, yes, I am here. I'm here and you're here.
We're in the same place.
And welcome back. I think that by now, if this is your first time here, so we've been apart for a while because I have been in technically Philadelphia, but driving to New Jersey for Glass Art College at Salem Community College in Salem, New Jersey. And Alan stayed with the kids. And I'm not going to ask you how that was because anybody who can't figure out that it was heck in a handbasket, nothing I can do can change that.
I was trying to do a good thing, a mitzvah, if you will.
Yes, and you sure did because I'm enjoying the gosh darn heck out of Glass School, but it's been two rambunctious children for you for months, and the guilt will never really go away, but I've made memories that will last forever. Today we're talking about Bolt.
Yeah, Bolt.
And I know that one thing I want to say is once upon a time we thought that we were moving. That was the stupidest thing. I have impulse control problems. So on impulse, I was like, we should move. And then it turned out to be the biggest disaster in the world. So we haven't moved, but we did take down a recording space and it's in storage right now. So all of our sound baffling is not available to us. And we don't even have the pea popper for our microphone. So sorry about slightly reduced sound quality. We are in our office right now, but I just wanted to say that. Yeah, we'll get back to it eventually. Obviously, it was ridiculously naive of me to believe that we would be able to record at all while I was gone. The fact that Martin stepped in has just been a godsend, but expect sporadic updates for the rest of 2021, and we will get back onto a regular schedule, hopefully, in the near future. Now, Bolt.
Yeah, you told me you had a plan for this that I don't know, so this is going to be a mystery fun time for me as well.
Yeah, I just realized I should probably go on IMDb, that's all. Because not everyone has seen Bolt. It's one of Disney's lesser animations. Anytime Disney does an animation that isn't Pixar, it kind of, Anyway, so this is from 2008. And you, I believe, saw Bolt in theaters?
I saw this film in theaters. Yeah, and it might have been a date, but I didn't know that.
I can't even blame you because I've been on a couple of surprise dates myself. I had not seen Bolt. I'd seen advertisements for Bolt, and it stars John Travolta of all people and Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus, probably deep into Hannah Montana at that time, so not at all surprising that.
Well, I mean, fully owned by Disney at that point, but I think she was done with Hannah Montana at that point in her career.
I'm already
so it might
on
have
IMDb.
It might have been like after Hannah Montana, Disney was still like, "You're still our property," because this is how corporations work.
No, Hannah Montana went from 2006 to 2011.
Wow.
Yeah. So but very much owned by Disney. And so I saw only the trailers. The trailers led me to believe that Bolt was a fairly, I don't know what to call it.
Action-y or?
I don't know, slapped together animation.
Okay.
Because even when we talked about The Secret Life of Pets 2, the animation was really good. Remember, we could see the sun glinting off the fur on the cow, all that stuff. The animation style and the textures, all of it's very cheap looking, but also it's 2008. So maybe,
Yeah, it might be that this is a sign of the times a little bit. I think they had better quality available, but maybe it was like a budget thing. I don't know if we want to get into it, but I saw an advertisement for Clifford the Big Red Dog other day. That looks like they really cut some corners on the CG there.
Clifford the Big Red Dog, the one that's coming out, is the Sonic the Hedgehog of kids movies right now. Just seeing that trailer is It's the same thing as the live action Sonic. It's just everyone just kind of shuddering. Or, I mean, not as bad as Cats, but Sonic for sure. No, yeah, but I definitely thought it was a superhero flick.
Well, for Clifford the Big Red Dog, I talked to Adele about it, who's been on the podcast.
Wait, you talked to Adele without me?
It was in the group chat.
Oh, okay.
You just weren't there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're secret conversations about how much we hate you.
I don't know why I got jealous about that. I think it's more that I want to be in on everything. I'm always curious.
All
anyway,
right, but basically we decided that it would be, if you're going to cheap out on the animation, it'd be much better just to have it be a cartoon. Yeah. If you would have just had the cartoon dog, people would be like, "Oh, that's cute. It's for kids." And no one would care. But like, if it's just bad CG, in Uncanny Valley,
oh, you mean
supposed
have the
to be
dog
real.
be a cartoon?
Yeah, have the dog be
Roger
a cartoon.
Rabbit style.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You're like, kid, dog, fun, good time. Let's go see the movie.
Yeah,
you know?
like not just Roger Rabbit, but the original Pete's Dragon, I think, right? I've never seen Pete's Dragon, but I started to.
I think that'd be kind of a fun thing to bring back, like a style that used to be like that mixed reality kind of thing. And like, no one would care if it was a cartoon dog. It's Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Mean, it's for kids.
Yeah.
Paddington, you know?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? So anyway, I thought Bolt was going to be a movie about a dog that was a superhero in an Inspector Gadget sort of way. You know, like Inspector Gadget, it was a normal dude, just like, what's that other movie where it's like we can make him better, faster, stronger? The freaking song, harder, better, faster, stronger.
I think just the $6 million man.
That's the one. Thank you.
Back when that was money. Now, like, yeah.
The 6 million. Yeah, people, you know, like 6 million. I think they made a joke about that in Austin Powers. Yeah. What is that darn band? The electronic one.
Daft Punk.
Daft Punk. I can't believe I forgot it. Anyway, yeah. So the Daft Punk song's how I remember, but I forgot the title of the movie. Anyway, so I thought it was that, and I had absolutely no interest in seeing it, and so I didn't. Cut forward, let's see, it was 2008.
Oh, I want to chime in there because I think this was one of those situations where the movie was marketed surprisingly different based on like what cartoon you were watching at the time. So if you were watching like, this is going to be oddly gendered, but that's kind of the point. So let's get into it. If you were watching like a My Little Pony or something like that, they would talk about, you know, cute girl and her dog have emotions. And if you were watching G.I. Joe, they'd be like, super dog does explosions.
Yeah, we talked about this with the Transformers movie that was coming out, Bumblebee, where
Yep.
we saw Power Rangers, the reboot, remake, whatever, that I liked and nobody else did. And we saw, I think, the live action Beauty and the Beast. That was a mistake. And in one of them, the Power Rangers one, it was all like action, explosions, robots. And in the Beauty and the Beast one, the trailer was like, I'm a girl power. And it's like, so they definitely do gender it. And anytime gender comes into play, you know, just the cis hets go wild with it and they're just wrong and it's gross and so they should stop trying to push gender.
Yeah,
but,
so you were watching, you know, Digimon with your brother or something like that, and they were like, hey, check out Bolts, and it was Explosion, Super Dog.
Sure.
That's my guess. I don't know.
I don't know if Digimon was 2008. But
Probably not.
I think Digimon was more like 1999, but that's okay. I have rewatched it a lot. I like Digimon. Don't judge me. Or do. You know what? Do. Just go ahead.
Just judge. Just keep it to yourself.
Just go for it. No, like, I don't even care. Like,
tweet your Digimon hate too.
Yeah, tweet your Digimon hate at me. That'd be awesome, honestly. But I just it's not going to change the fact that I enjoyed that show. So, like, I can't go back and undo it because it offends people. Anyway, so back to this. I'm trying to do math in my head. 13 years? 12 years, I would say. 2020, probably. I think he started watching Bolt last year, maybe. So
yeah, that sounds about right.
About a dozen years later, we have this child named Warren, who listeners to the show will know is our older son. And he is the reason for this podcast, I guess. But he discovered Bolt on Disney Plus and desired to watch it. And I saw it for the first time and was gobsmacked, I suppose, to find out that it was about a TV show about a super dog, and the dog had been led to believe it had superpowers, but then didn't. And then the rest of the movie was just homeward bound.
The twist is, the Bolt, the super dog, is an actor, and in order to make this dog actor act better, they make him believe that all the peril is real. And so there's a large amount of money spent on sets and just
Special effects.
special effects and actors and acting in order to trick a dog.
Not even special effects, but immediate practical effects. They need to make this dog believe he's blowing up cars, running super fast, barking at 1,000 million decibels or whatever. And okay, so Martin taught me a word when we talked about Ratatouille, sapience, because animals are sentient but not sapient or something.
Okay.
So I'll say sentient just so that we can have our keyword, for every episode. Yeah. But this presumes that the people in the movie think the dog is sapient. Because Radar, who's here with us panting and just enjoying ear rubs, would never in a million years be tricked into believing he has superpowers. He doesn't even understand where food comes from. Like, he understands there's this bag, and sometimes we take food out of it, but he doesn't quite understand why we don't just tip it over and let him eat all of it at once. So
he's actually a super dog.
So we're supposed to presume that they think this dog with average dog intelligence would somehow be able to grasp the concept of superpowers, but not the concept of acting. Which is ridiculous.
So to make the super dog John Travolta a better actor, they have to trick John Travolta dog into believing that
he has superpowers.
That Penny is really in danger.
Yeah, Okay, so here's the thing. Penny is his real life owner. So I guess when she decided to, her stage mom, or she decided to go into acting, she went to only casting calls with her dog. Like, she was like, I will only try out for parts where a young woman, Radar, you're really throwing this off. Stop shaking your head. A young woman,
not a super dog.
A young woman and a dog are called for. And so the girl is an actress, and she took her real life dog to this show. And they decided, here's what we're going to do. We're going to trick this dog into thinking he has superpowers. And that's going to be worth it for anything. And so the plot is that what do you call it? The network exec, right? The network exec, I think her name is Mindy. We'll call her Mindy. Let's call her Mindy, okay?
Yeah.
All right, great. The network exec comes in and is like, you are just hemorrhaging money on convincing this dog that it has superpowers.
She is not wrong, by the way.
That's just it. It's like we're supposed to side with... I don't know who we're supposed to side with.
Well, because the other network exec is one of the only real villains of the show, sort of. He's just sort of a jerk.
Which one are you talking about?
The one who wants to spend all the money on tricking the dog.
Oh, I think he's the director.
Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, he's like... Are we supposed to side with it? We're supposed to side against her. Like, no, don't cancel Bolt. We have no vested interest in Bolt continuing one way or the other. So she's absolutely just right. That's the most ridiculous justification for a budget I've ever heard in my life. But, like, on top of that, the rest of the movie, as I said, is just a dog trying to cross the country with a cat and a hamster. So Homeward Bound. And that's nothing new at all. Because he learns pretty quickly that he doesn't have superpowers, and then he just has to learn how to be a dog. The plot, it's not the most original thing in the world to have a movie where a dog has superpowers, but I wanted to watch that. That would have been entertaining if it was just Inspector Gadget, but it was a dog, Inspector Gadget, Inspector Dog Gadget.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the girl in Inspector Gadget named Penny also?
Yes, I wonder if it was an homage or they just like threw a dart at a dartboard full of
Or maybe it was like originally supposed to be Inspector Gadget, but they couldn't get all the rights to it or something like that.
So they got some off-brand.
Like, yeah, and then he's Homeward Bound. Yeah, we own that, I think. Throw that in there.
Yeah, so it was just like da-da-da-da, Inspector Dog. We got enough of those notes off, right, where we're not going to be sued.
It's the Snow Queen dress person.
Yeah, I have to watch that still.
Yeah, apparently that's on YouTube.
Apparently you discovered a Frozen knockoff. I mean, obviously, right? People always do knockoffs when things are successful. But anyway, so
dollar store coloring books or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about just the ridiculousness of this plot or lack thereof to start with, because that's it. That's like, I've seen this movie a lot of times. I hate the soundtrack. I hate the voice acting. I'm sorry. I do. I also hate the animation. Like, Penny is weirdly, like, she looks like she hasn't slept in 3 years and bug-eyed. And I think her manager / agent looks like Neil Patrick Harris, but I don't know why. Maybe just a kind of blonde guy with a big forehead. But there was nothing.
Yeah.
Except for the possibility of a superhero dog, you know?
And I would say like the style choices, because at some point they are choices of like just the way everybody looks, and even the cat and the hamster and all that sort of stuff. Just a little not good, just a little weird.
Yeah, I think I said this for The Secret Life of Pets 2 as well. I can't say The Secret Life of Pets 2 too, because that gets confusing. So as well, but like the puppy Bolt didn't look cute, and they did that too in Secret Life of Pets 2. It's just like the puppies weren't adorable. The other animation was great, right? Sun glinting off the cow's butt and whatever. But the puppies were kind of just like those weird My Little Pet Shop puppies with the 2 big eyes, like Powerpuff Girl eyes. So it takes a lot to make a puppy not cute. So none of the animals are cute. The humans look very weird. And the plot is the first 5 minutes of the movie make you think you're watching a superhero movie, essentially. And the rest of the movie is dog has to go buddy cop, right? It's a buddy cop movie. Dog and cat, right?
Yeah. 2 personalities that don't match,
and then,
but somehow work perfectly together to solve the puzzle, which is get home.
Yeah, and then hamster.
And hamster, comic relief hamster.
Yeah. And obviously evil dog catcher and all that. Like there's always an evil dog catcher.
But the truth is there's no, I mean, this is a getting back is the real villain. It's a I can't say man versus nature. It's a dog versus nature plot. And, the dog catcher is just trying to do their job. And the agent, who's kind of a jerk, is just a jerk agent. And we're getting way ahead of ourselves. But the climactic enemy is just a fire.
Yes.
And so, like, there really isn't, like, a bad guy or anything. It's just, like...
There's a lot of attempts at bad guys.
Yeah.
So we have the network exec who's right, Mindy. We'll call her Mindy. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm laughing at my own joke now.
Yeah, we're going to call her Mindy.
Okay. We have the director who actually just seems to be very passionate about the project, and I don't know if I can fault him for that, even though his passion is misguided or misdirected.
His passion is tricking the crap out of this dog.
Yes. And good for him. At least in the Midwestern way, I'll say he has an interest, and that's great for him. But he's not an antagonist. The cat isn't an antagonist because she is quickly overpowered by the dog and then roped into, quite literally, following him across the country. The dog catchers are what I would call secondary antagonists because they're in and out in one scene. And so there is no real antagonist until a fire tries to kill a little girl. In the least safe set design that has ever existed in a movie, because it wouldn't exist in real life, let's face it. I mean, like, there were just torches all around and no contingency plan for if one fell over. And so that was the plot, is like he tries to get back. And then he does get back, and then he does get to save Penny because he barks real loud.
Yeah,
into
and
a venting
he calls
shaft.
for help with his super bark.
Yes,
and they find her.
And so, ostensibly, I found a lesson. Which is either... your friendship was the real superpower all along.
Your friendship was the real superpower all along.
Or you don't need superpowers to be super, which should have been the lesson of The Incredibles, but actually was the antagonist of The Incredibles. Yeah. So they messed up there.
Incredibles is actually kind of problematic in that.
Yes,
because it's just like, no, there actually is a race of super people who are better than you.
Yeah, we're going to get into that with Martin at some point. We're very excited for that. The way so once upon a time, I taught AP English Literature before I decided down with the American education system. And I recorded with Martin and their partner, Heather Sinclair. Not at that point, I don't even think I knew what a podcast was. I just recorded a conversation about The Incredibles so that my students, most of whom had seen The Incredibles, could listen and hear what just analysis sounds like, just making statements about things. And I would assume it did not make a single bit of difference in their education, as nobody actually wants to be in school, and that's turns out big hindrance in learning anything. But ever since then, I've wanted to kind of recreate that, minus Heather Sinclair. So that episode of The Incredibles will come out at some point. But back to Bolt, I wanted to, instead of going point by point, because as I was trying to point out, no, I've said point out too many times. As I tried to
call attention to,
thank you. There isn't much of a point by point. Once you get to the actual plot and not the bait and switch plot, we'll call it. So there's nothing to go through. I'm not going to go through the cat's weird backstory about being abandoned, which was just lifted wholesale from Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2.
It's a movie about toy stairs, basically.
That come to life.
Yeah. And they're like, ouch, stop it.
Yeah. So, so there's nothing to get into. So what I thought we could do instead, since I don't have any notes other than rants about why you'd want to trick a dog into thinking it has superpowers. And then, and then I'm shaking Alan now because I've just remembered something. And then he's worried the dog is going to see the boom mic, which also presumes the dog knows what a boom mic is. What? Okay, sorry. What were you saying?
Well, like the plot of like once they're actually like missing and they have to get back across the country or whatever, by tracking Waffle Houses, which is their plan.
I think they use a Waffle House kids menu.
A Waffle House kids menu.
Which actually works somehow.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's just like, go west. And they were like, we can do that.
We can do that.
Okay.
I know what a boom mic is. I know what west is.
That's true.
But the plot is kind of like a poorly designed D&D campaign, or where it's just like you're gonna go to this town that's west of here, and then just like every week you get together and it's a new set piece problem.
Yeah,
it's just like there's a train, there's a dog catcher, there's a
trailer park,
and it's just like, okay, bookend. None of these things matter.
Roll
later.
Charisma to see if people give you
food.
food.
Basically, and then it's just like, and then you're done with it.
Yeah. It's set piece to set piece, very much like Moana, very much like Kubo and the Two Strings. Like, it's just no real connective tissue. So what I wanted to do, now 23 minutes into the episode, well, I guess 23 minutes into the record, because I'm going to cut some stuff, is script doctor it a little bit. Because I think, like I said, I don't think it was the most original idea, but I think that there was an entertaining idea in there where there's a dog with superpowers. And I just wanted to talk about how this movie could have been better, I suppose, a little bit. Because I mean, am I wrong? Would you have watched a movie where a dog had superpowers? And
I mean, yeah, I watched this movie. So.
Well, I mean, going into it, did you know?
I had no idea. I didn't really know what it was about.
Had you seen the trailer?
I don't think so. I knew it was like a Disney dog movie.
Okay, yeah. So, and we have seen a lot of those at this point. Yeah. So here's the first thing I would say is, if this were a real superpower dog or $6 million dog, reduce the number of powers. So this shouldn't be an Inspector Gadget situation. The kind of gag of Inspector Gadget was that all he had to do was say, go, go, Gadget, something, and it would happen.
It was like when Batman had his shark repellent on his belt.
Get the bat shark repellent. It's like, get the bat plunger, get the bat ice skates, and then make some puns and play hockey with Mr. Freeze.
Alfred, charge the Batmobile's battery. What's a tree?
Where's that one from?
It's just from the internet.
Okay, the internet's great. So anyway, but he also had his go-to, like his helicopter and whatever. But the thing is that when you have a superhero that is too super, it's too easy, right? There's no real challenge or stakes.
Yeah, they hang a lampshade on this early in the movie. Because he has every superpower, and the cat basically says, like, what, can you fly? It's like, no, I can't fly.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like, you can do everything.
Right, so in the context of the fake superpowers, he has super speed, a super bark that essentially just is a giant
sonic boom.
Fusro Da, if I'm being honest. For those who don't know Skyrim, yes, it's a sonic boom that comes out of his mouth. And laser eyes, Cyclops eyes. And I don't know if they do super strength.
Super strength and super speed.
Oh, yeah, he bends. Oh, yeah, because he tries to bend bars later and can't do it.
Wasn't one time he, like, runs so fast in a circle, he makes a tornado or something?
So pretty much Superman, honestly, minus the flight. And that's too much because you want to believe that there's a possibility of danger. Even in a kid's movie, stakes are important. So I would take that away, I think, or reduce everything, right? Like, maybe he gets tired after super speed, or his super bark does not take out an entire legion of tanks, right? Like, just take it down a notch. Or he has a battery in his rib cage that needs to be recharged before he can use something.
He's like a cyborg dog.
Yeah, well, I think that was the point. No, like in the movie, they just like electrocute him, and then it's like, he has powers now. I don't think they show him like doing modifications, but I would see him as an android type thing. I guess that was my thought. How would you change this to be better? I sprung this on him, by the way, so I'm gonna cut out his thinking time.
I would go a lot harder into what this supposed lesson is supposed to be, which I guess they didn't really know either, because we don't really know. We had 2 ideas of what it might have been. Each of these set pieces could have been him learning how to deal with problems, like directly, and how to be like a real hero or something like that. Yeah. As opposed to just him, like, for the first half, he's just thinks he can and therefore does. And then later he mopes around and...
But why John Travolta?
I don't know.
That's so weird to me. It's such a weird choice. It's not like his voice is particularly...
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that and Miley Cyrus as well.
Yeah, but hold on. So you're saying, like, how to fix it if they still go the route of he doesn't really have superpowers? Because I was saying... Like, I was saying just make a... But that's fine, too. So here's the thing. If they wanted to do that...
or actually take his powers away or something like that.
That's what I was thinking.
Does have a weakness as opposed to a fake weakness, which is styrofoam.
That's what I was thinking, is like almost keep the exact same plot, only he really he thinks styrofoam is packing peanuts is his weakness or something like that. So give him something that actually pulls his powers away and makes him helpless at a time when he's not used to being helpless ever and in the worst possible situation, which is when he's on the other side of the country. A very contrived reason for him to be on the other side of the country. But anyway, and then have him try to learn this lesson that I pointed out earlier of like, you can be super without superpowers. And also when he needs to save the day, not only does the naysaying cat have to shut up, but his powers come back because he believes, or he saves the day without his powers, but then they come, something like that.
You probably actually have to give him like a more of a character arc there too, because like he's too golden-hearted the whole time, because like he has all these powers, at least in his mind at this point in the real story, and he's like still like real down to earth and loves Penny and all that sort of stuff like that. And then like he doesn't grow at all.
No, he doesn't have a big head. He's just disillusioned at some point. Like he and I mean, speaking of delusional. It's not quite there. I tried. He's delusional as well because he's been so expertly tricked into believing he has. But he's not like big-headed about it. He just is playing a part that he thinks he actually inhabits. And honestly, that lesson of like, you don't need powers or whatever would hit harder if he had to save the day in the end without powers. Like they started coming back a little bit to make the naysaying cat shut up. But then when he needed them the most, they failed him again or something. That would have actually been impactful, and you would have kind of gotten to have your cake and eat it too, I feel like, with the superpowered dog / buddy cop narrative. That still doesn't really help with the kind of like Frodo and Sam walking across lots of things problem, but it's a start.
Well, what I'm saying is each of the set pieces could be him like actually learning something, as opposed to Buster Keatoning his way through a train problem and like just being fine, even though like that was super dangerous.
Yeah, and it still works out for him, and he needs to learn how to be a real dog, but he already feels very much affection for his human, or affectionate, I suppose, for his human. And so he doesn't need to learn to love or care. He already has that. So what is his arc? His arc is just like
No, he has no development.
His arc is just denial, anger, bargaining, acceptance, or whatever.
I guess.
Grief, acceptance. I got it there. His arc is just accepting that he doesn't actually have powers.
Yeah, I guess it's just grieving.
Yeah,
I guess.
His arc is grieving, which is supposed to be part of character development, not the entire character arc. So,
and if they had known that, they actually could have they could have designed it that way and just like had him go through the steps. 'Cause I don't even think he does it in a good way. If they knew it was just the 6 steps of grief or whatever.
5?
Whatever. I don't. Anger, denial, bargaining.
Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. 5.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe there's another one in there, like gambling.
Yes, I think that's just bargaining.
Okay.
But anyway, no. So what I was going to say is, we hated the the constant dramatic irony of the billboards and the bus signs and stuff that had his show plastered all over or whatever that he kept missing. But I think those could have been put to good use as like here's a reminder of what you once were, and you have to face it everywhere you go.
You know what that felt like to me? It felt like they wanted there to be a television show like already in existence, and so it was like a joke to the fact that it was something that like the audience was in on, like, oh, there's superhero dog show and this is the movie tie-in, but there was no tie-in. So like they were making a joke about something that everybody knew except no one in the real world knows about it.
Yeah, I still don't. I'm starting to get what you mean about that. I mean, basically, the joke is it's a show and he doesn't know it, and they keep doing that joke over and over and over again, just in different settings, and sometimes with pigeons, which is like, okay. So yeah, so like, I feel like that could have been used as a tool to like further his character development or something. And instead, it was just a joke about how he doesn't know he's on a TV show when most dogs don't know they're on TV shows, even if you don't try to trick them.
Yeah, even if your dog is on a TV show.
Your dog doesn't know they're on a TV show. In fact, Lassie did not know that he was not rescuing a kid from a well. It's hard to do gender with Lassie because Lassie was played by a boy, but is a girl in the show or something. And do dogs care about gender? No, right?
I don't even think they do.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ed just thought that peanut butter was awesome.
Yeah, well, they probably tortured Mr. Ed a little more than was necessary, but yeah. So horses, dogs, and other animals already don't know they're on a TV show, is all I'm saying. So you don't actually have to trick them. But the joke was that this dog, who otherwise wouldn't have known he was on a TV show, didn't know he was on a TV show, and that was it. And there was a hamster.
Yeah. And the joke was that, like, everybody knows about this TV show that we introduced 1 minute ago. Like, we don't. Like, no, we don't. We don't know about this TV show.
They surprised us with the fact that it's a TV show, and then they were like, hey, look, it's a TV show. And we were like, okay. Also, they hung a lot of hats on, I don't know where I'm going with this, on the hamster being a funny character, because instead of the hamster being like part of a set piece where it's funny and then before it gets old, the hamster is like, goodbye, going back home, the hamster's just with them for the rest of the movie. The hamster's name is Rhino. Rhino's not funny. He's not written well. He's performed fine, I guess, but he brings nothing to the plot. You don't need comic relief because you're already yucking it up over this dog who doesn't know he's on a TV show or in real life now, I guess, or whatever. And to just stick him on there and be like, now we have a motley crew. And it's like, well, no, he adds nothing. And so I think that they really were leaning on this hamster to carry a lot of the movie, and he did not. So if they had to keep the hamster, my script doctoring would be don't make him a permanent part of it. Make him part of a couple scenes.
Well, and if you're going to keep the hamster, just like rework the whole hamster's personality and humor level. Because the hamster, one, knows it's a TV show.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Here's what I think they're trying to do with the hamster. The hamster is the foil for the cat. The cat is the naysayer going, you don't have superpowers, you're not special, stop acting like it. The hamster is supposed to be the one going, you do have superpowers, you are special, except the hamster also knows it's a TV show. So why is the hamster, I can't believe, with no context, the words we say in order and specific for this podcast, the hamster is trying to convince the dog he has superpowers, but why does the hamster do that when the hamster's aware the dog doesn't have superpowers? So, I mean, if you're gonna fix that, if you want to have the foils and the side characters, you have to have the hamster be as unaware as the dog is. Like maybe the hamster thinks it's a documentary, but he doesn't. So it's unclear why he is trying to, or make him think that Bolt is researching for his next part, that he's trying to be a method actor, and that's why he doesn't want to, mess with his head and tell him.
I mean, they sort of make it sound like the hamster just like, oh, it's the magic box that the humans watch, and like doesn't understand that like TV exists, but that means the hamster has to be on a different level of intelligence than the other animals.
Which, to be fair, hamsters probably
They are, but like if they're all going to be of human intelligence, then you just have to pick that, I think.
Yeah. Also, hamsters are nocturnal. So,
yeah,
that's neither here nor there. Just long silence.
Well, it's there.
Yeah.
It's there.
It's there, yes,
Yeah.
I suppose. I think that, you know what, fact check me on the hamster thing. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. I remember it because it's so surprising to me that, like, randomly this one rodent is like, nah, I'm gonna sleep during the day. It's like, okay, I guess it's safer, right? At night, you know?
I don't know. There's
things
what's
can get ya.
what's the word for things that are only out like dusk and dawn, like crepuscular or something?
Crepuscular.
Oh, there you go.
But I prefer your version. Yeah, they could be crepuscular, like deer. We could just stop. I mean, Radar wants his dinner. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there anything else to say? But
Well,
I don't like this movie.
I want to talk about the voice acting a little bit.
Oh, right. You wanted to talk
I want to talk about the voice
Yeah,
acting.
go.
First off, the Miley Cyrus character, she doesn't do that bad of a job because the character as written is just her. And so she just basically showed up and talked into a microphone, much as I'm doing right now. And so you're saying, like, you can't really say I'm doing a bad job because this is just me and I'm not trying to be anything else. And she's a child actress
Doing her best.
doing her best.
Which is, I mean, there were a couple of lines where she was trying to lay it on a little too thick.
She
Like,
doesn't.
He's all cold and alone, and it's
Yeah,
like,
it's like, but like
But-
again, like she's playing that person.
Yeah.
So the person who wouldn't be able to do that very well, and
Yeah.
so like
I mean, I don't care.
yeah,
Like, how do I say this? She did fine. The what you're trying to say, I think, is that the part doesn't have much substance either.
no, there's yeah,
She was a little girl playing a little girl.
and there's no growth. There's no growth in her part either.
No, none
she's
at all.
sad that her dog is gone, and she's happy that her dog is back. She basically becomes complete again. She's a set piece in that sense too.
Yeah.
And so and then John Travolta's character has no arc, and he's very, very placid in this role. And like even when he's like amped up or supposed to be amped up or supposed to be sad or supposed to be whatever, it's just John Travolta very flat the whole time. And the person who plays the hamster, which hopefully
Not a name.
not a name.
So here's the thing. I keep thinking the person who plays the hamster is somebody, and I think it's because he sounds like Wallace Shawn.
Oh,
Because I've looked him up a lot, and he just actually hasn't done a lot. I think he's more in the like writing or animating side of things.
Okay.
Where is it?
or maybe just like a career voice actor.
Yeah, but not even that. Like, it's kind of just that's it. Like,
Oh,
it's just
storyboard artist. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always like this person.
So he's in animation. So he's not actually a name. Like, he's definitely in animation. He just usually doesn't do like big.
And we're
voice
not
acting
trying to
roles.
say that he's not an important person. We're just saying a name is an actor that they get from the outside world to draw you into the movie theater. So when they give like Catherine Zeta-Jones the part as a llama or whatever to put her on the poster, where that's what she means by name.
Yeah, right. Sorry. And then the other one is Mittens. That's the cat's name, and that's Susie Essman, who was on Curb Your Enthusiasm. I guess I've never really watched that, so she's done stuff. Everyone's been on Law and Order. Why is that even listed anymore? Law and Order on IMDb should just.
I'm
be like,
on Law and Order.
Yeah, like I think on IMDb they should list when you're not on Law and Order.
Yeah.
You know, or at the very top just be like they were on
That would
this
be-
Law and Order episode.
That would be really convenient for the makers of Law and Order.
Yes, they could be like, who haven't we gotten?
Who haven't we gotten yet? Oh, just pull up the list.
Yeah. Just get on IMDb. Have we gotten this person?
Anyway,
Oh,
so
yeah.
the voice acting is not very good. It's very flat.
Well, and again, I will always say, like, it's a writing problem too. It is. And it's not horrible acting. It's just there's no substance to this movie.
There's no substance to Hannah Montana's character. She's the same, and she's a little bit sad the whole time, and because like first off, she wants to not be a child actor, so she's a little bit sad about that at the beginning, and she wants to like go on vacation with Bolt, and that's her. So she's a little bit sad about that, and then Bolt's missing, so she's sad about that. And then she's in a fire, so she's sad about that. And then
she would be sad about being in a fire, yes.
and then there's a cute animation of them being happy at the end, but she doesn't voice act in that.
Yeah.
So
John Travolta is just a weird get.
He's
Again,
a
it's
weird-
like putting it on the poster.
again,
to be like, we got John
it's like, look,
Travolta.
we got a big actor.
But kids don't foam at the mouth. Like Miley Cyrus was for the kids, John Travolta was for the adults. Is that it? Like, here's the draw. We have a couple of adult jokes and John Travolta, so the parents won't hate it. I don't know. And this movie just added to the confusion of which dog thing Warren wants to watch, because we have Bolt, we have Puppy Dog Pals, what's the Canine Academy? I don't know if we ever corrected this, by the way, so I'm just going to put this in right here. Pup Academy is not a Disney property. At some point we said that they got a lot of Disney money. It's not. It's on Netflix, not Disney Plus. There, I've corrected
And
it.
they got Air Bud money.
They got Air Bud money. And there's one other, but I can't think about it right now.
Oh,
So
there's the Up
Up.
shorts.
He also thinks that Up is dogs. So everything is dogs. And to add Bolt to that, it's like, ugh. I mean, it's been a while since I've asked this question. We used to end our podcast this way. Would you recommend this movie to parents for their kids?
No.
No. Right?
I think that yeah, like it's surprisingly violent at the beginning with all like the with all the superhero stuff. So like I could recommend it for a little bit older of an audience, but I think like like the kind of like
8 to 10
8, 10ish, maybe like 7 or something like
Yeah.
that. But I think at that point the kids wouldn't be into this movie anymore.
Yeah.
I think they'd be like, okay, that was kind of cool. I'm gonna go like play with my toys now.
Okay, so we got an incomplete concept, not a lot of like some confusion on who the audience is supposed to be, and I mean like there's a dog that runs around and talks to a cat. So, but like there are other better properties that will do that in a way that is a little less inane, I guess, or asinine. I'm not sure what word I want right now, but yeah, I
just watch Canine Academy. Cute dogs, whatever, man.
Pup Academy?
Whatever it was.
Okay.
You said Canine.
I said all kinds of things. Now I'm just like
watch Air Bud.
Watch Air Bud.
Yeah.
No, Air Bud's too sad. Don't watch Air Bud.
Oh, what? Air Bud is sad?
Yeah.
I've never seen Air Bud.
Air Bud. You've never seen Air Bud? Oh wait, we already went over that. Sorry. Air Bud has the get out of here, you big dumb stupid animal moment of and I just cry every time. And by every time I mean the one time I watched it when I was a kid.
Well, on topic though, I will have to say that I did get a little bit choked up at the end of this movie when I saw it in theaters.
Oh.
Because there was a fire and, like the dog was getting smoke inhalation. And I was not like seriously concerned that the dog was going to die, but like.
It's a touching moment when they lay the dog over her in the ambulance or whatever. It's nice.
So.
It's just, and here's the thing. Normally we talk about like, is this movie or show like actively harmful for your children? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think so.
We've watched things that were like, we don't want our kids seeing this if we had a choice, but this isn't actively harmful. It's just bleh.
It's very bleh, and I think it's very hard to figure out who the target audience, who would actually be like, no, this is my jam. You know what I mean? Like
Bolt is my jam. Hey, if you think Bolt is your jam, tweet at me or at my podcast. I'm both accounts. You can tweet at Bex Goose or Not Again Pod. Either one, we'll respond to you. But honestly, I don't think Bolt is anyone's cup of jam. So anyway, with that being said, I wish I could say that we're going to see you next week or even next month, but we'll see. Until then, though, thank you for existing. Thank you for listening. And thank you for helping us to maintain our marbles for just one more week and kind of one more month, because we're going to have to survive with our maintained marbles for a while until we can record again. We will talk next time about something. Obviously, The Incredibles is coming up, and Warren keeps discovering new things. So we will basically always have something to talk about. But until that happens, please bear with us. We hope to get something new for you soon. And we'll say goodbye, I guess. I am Rebecca.
I'm Alan.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Bye-bye.